Welcome back to Better Off Bald, A Life in 147 Days. I am your host and storyteller, Andrea Wilson Woods. Whether you're watching the video or listening to the podcast, I really appreciate you tuning in. Let's get started. Days 80 through 83, Friday through Monday, August 3rd through the 6th, 2001. 2 smiley faces, i.e., bowel movements. I love music. I love dancing. I love sunshine that doesn't make me too warm. I love the rain. I love jumping into puddles. I love drawing on my arms. I love Eli. I love Perry Farrell. I love glitter. I love big headphones. I love my blue hair. I love hairless arms. I love the shape of a female back. I love fashion photography. I love bus drivers. I love fast computers. I love doing high kicks. Adrienne's journal entry dated March 15th, 2001. After another massage appointment with Nina, Adrienne asked to go to the local animal shelter. Before cancer, we visited the dogs and cats all the time. The overly cautious "your immune system crashed 3 days ago" parent in me wants to say no, but my rational mind takes over, and I agree. Besides, I carry hand sanitizer in my purse, and animal germs are less threatening to Adrienne than bacteria from people. If the employees working at the front desk recognize us, they pretend not to. Adrienne and I walk down the long corridor lined with pens on each side. Each cell has 1 or 2 dogs in it, most containing pit bulls. We don't have a dog yet, but we want one. But our tastes are different. Adrienne likes the Bichon Frise, a 15-pound dog that resembles a white powder puff. I hate small yippy dogs. For years, I have longed for an English Mastiff, a true, gentle giant that weighs approximately 200 pounds. Adrienne refuses to have what she calls an overgrown slobber machine near her stuff. We don't argue about what kind of dog to get because our lease doesn't allow one, and John doesn't want another animal in the house. A cat and a hamster are enough. At the end of the hall, we turn into the cat room, where a chorus of meows greet us. As Adrienne passes a cage, a giant black paw reaches through the metal bars, and Adrienne feels a tap, tap, tap on the back of her hand. She turns around and says, "Look, sissy," in the voice of a child who has seen a ghost, but is not scared. Inside of a cage, 2 sleepy black cats lie together, spooning one another. The smaller one on the inside is the rascal that hit Adrienne. We step forward and press our faces closer. We count 6 toes on each foot. Their large yellow eyes stare back at us, and the smaller one's pupils are so dilated they resemble black marbles. He, especially, seems to be communicating with Adrienne as he continues his playful paw banter without moving any other part of his body. He looks like Ebony," says Adrienne. "Can we get him? Please, sissy?" I don't know what to say. The last thing I need is another animal, another responsibility in the house. I can barely remember to clean the litter box these days. John may be a terrific father, but he is useless when it comes to pets. A kitten needs shots and sterilization. How will Little Bit react? She's had the house to herself for over 10 months. "I'll think about it." Great. That always means no. "Not necessarily." "He reached out and touched me, sissy." "It's a sign." I sigh. We'll ask about him, but I'm not promising anything. Adrienne skips down the corridor to the lobby. At the front desk, she describes the 2 cats. An employee says they are both male, they were found together outside, and they believed to be from the same litter, despite their size discrepancy. Both kittens are up for adoption on August 10th, a week from today. I thank the woman and tell her we might be back next week. Adrienne smiles. Adrienne talks at warp speed the minute the door shuts behind us. "I think my cat is Bombay, but maybe his brother has more Siamese in him. That would explain why he's longer and leaner. His face is skinnier too. Anyway, doesn't Marilyn look just like Ebony? He was Bombay. Are there black Siamese cats, Sissy? Can you believe they both have 24 toes like Ebony? Marilyn is the perfect name." Great. She has already named the cat. I interrupt her even though I can't remember the last time she was this excited about anything. Okay, I'll bite. Why Marinol? Because, she rolls her eyes at me as if it should be obvious, he's so laid back, like he's high on something. Like me, when I take Marinol. I laugh because only Adrienne would come up with that. Adrienne, I never said yes. But sissy, she cocks her eyebrow, Marinol is the best. I know that expression. That I just made you laugh so you can't say no now, look. I want her to be happy, but we don't need another cat, especially one that is the spitting image of Ebony. I can't deny that Marinol, no, that kitten, touching Adrienne was eerie, as if he knew his only chance of getting out of jail was by using his best assets, his giant paws, not a loud voice that blends in with the crowd. I need to make someone else the bad guy. If both John and Dr. Marcos say yes, then you can have the kitten. There's no way they'll both say yes. No way. Adrienne squeals, I can't wait to tell Eli about Marinol. They both have to agree, Adrienne. Don't get your hopes up. Don't worry, sissy. I won't, because they will. After eating lunch, we pick up Eli and shop at Ross, where Adrienne buys several shirts and skirts. Then we go to see Tim Burton's remake of Planet of the Apes. I am paranoid about movie theaters. They are ripe with germs, but Adrienne has wanted to see this film ever since she read Tim Burton was directing it. As we settle in what appear to be the cleanest seats available, not that dirt is visible in dim light, I think about how important seeing this movie is to Adrienne. Adrienne likes most of Burton's films with the exception of Mars Attacks, which she thinks is too silly. However, she was thrilled when she read Burton grew up in Burbank and based the neighborhood in his film Edward Scissorhands on his hometown. She was more delighted when she discovered she and Burton shared the same biology teacher, Mr. Hines. Adrienne asked her teacher about Tim Burton a few months ago. A firm believer in paper, Mr. Hines kept all of his grade books from the time he started teaching. With Adrienne supplying Burton's age, he soon found the appropriate year. Ah, yes, Timothy Burton. Very average, a C student, I'm afraid. Not like you, he said. Mr. Hines, do you have any idea how famous he is? How good his films are? Mr. Hines chuckled. No, but I seem to remember he liked to draw a lot. Adrienne gave Mr. Hines a brief biography on his former average student. Then she recommended her favorite Tim Burton movies. I wondered if he followed her advice. Adrienne can be persuasive when she wants to be. Adrienne shakes her head and sighs as the end credits roll up the screen. That wasn't good. He sold out. I never thought he would, but he did. I don't think the film is that terrible. Average, I guess. But I can see how disappointed Adrienne is in one of her heroes. Eli agrees with Adrienne. He doesn't like it much either. Maybe the original is better, I offer as a way to cheer up Adrienne. That's my point, sissy. He never should have done a remake. He sold out. After dropping Eli off at home, I change the subject to the one thing I don't want to discuss. You can ask John about the cat when he gets home. Adrienne perks up. That's right. He'll say yes. That famous quote, never assume you'll make an ass out of you and me, is something I should have learned by now. After 5 years with John, he surprises me. He says yes, of course. Adrienne can have a cat. I remind Adrienne her doctor has to agree too. She says, I know, sissy, you told me like 10 times already. I wait until Adrienne is in bed before confronting John. You weren't supposed to say yes. Why did you say yes? You hate pets. How could I say no to her right now? He replies. Then I realize John would give Adrienne anything she wants because he cannot give her what she needs. A new liver, her old life back. Part of me wants to strangle him for being unpredictable, and another part of me wants to hug him for making her happy. I'm the one who's going to take care of it. I'll help out, he says. We both know he's lying. The next day, Adrienne sleeps all morning in anticipation of our big night out to medieval times. I allow her to get a manicure and pedicure that afternoon. I explained to the Vietnamese manicurist in detail about how low Adrienne's platelets are and how platelets help our blood clot. But I realize I've gone too far and it has nothing to do with any language barrier. I need to drop the medical jargon and get to the point. Look, she can't bleed. Just be extra careful, okay? Yes, ma'am. I be careful. Don't worry, she replies. What color you want? Adrienne points to the bright blue polish. Of course. The woman may not understand why she needs to be cautious, but I can see from the way she takes her time, she comprehends something is wrong. Later, when I share my thoughts with Adrienne, she laughs. Gee, sissy, don't you think my bald head and pasty skin gave her a clue? I know she's right. The woman probably labeled Adrienne a sick girl when she saw her, but people should never assume. Adrienne begs me to stop at Junk for Joy, one of the coolest secondhand stores in Burbank. She does not have anything particular in mind, but when Adrienne sees a large pair of blue Monarch butterfly wings, she has to have them. Because Adrienne loves fairies, she has always wanted a pair of wings. About 2 feet in height and diameter, the wings attach under her shoulders with a wide piece of ribbon. Can I get them, sissy? She asks as she twirls around. I want to say how impractical the wings are, how cumbersome they must be, and how heavy they will feel after a long stretch of time. But like John with the kitten, I cannot say no. Adrienne appears so young in the wings, like a child who has never known pain, like a child who has never experienced 3 rounds of chemotherapy, like a child who has never had cancer. It's your money, kiddo. You want them? You buy them, I tell her. Whooping with glee, Adrienne purchases the blue butterfly wings for less than $50. An expensive dinner extravaganza, medieval times transports one back to the 11th century to witness a tournament while eating a 4-course feast served by wenches and serfs. Both Adam and Adrienne always wanted to go. Adam to see knights joust and Adrienne to experience the antics of the Middle Ages, but John and I never had the money before. Now I do not let not having the money stop us from doing anything Adrienne wants to do. For an additional $10 per person, I buy the royalty package, which comes with preferred seating, commemorative programs, cheering banners, and free admission to the museum. Before cancer, I would have balked at spending over $200 for one evening of fun, but we no longer live in the past, the before. We live in the after. No, the present with cancer. And on a subconscious level, I am aware of how hard I am trying to make each day special for Adrienne. We will go to medieval times tonight, and we will have fun, damn it. In less than 2 weeks, I will turn 29 on my birthday. Women my age are supposed to hear their biological clocks ticking, but I don't. Instead, a cancer clock. Adrienne has been sick for 81 days. Pulsates throughout my body as it tracks the numbers. How long has it been since we left normal? How many rounds of chemo? How many times has she thrown up? How many good days? Bad days? How many meds? How? I prefer the how questions because I can answer them with real numbers, quantitative evidence, as the doctors would say. However, I find no answer exists for the hardest question of all. Why, Adrienne? Why? When Adrienne exits her bedroom, I gasp. She appears so ethereal with her blue Monarch butterfly wings and blue bobbed wig Marilyn bought for her. I'm looking at a blue fairy from another world. Adrienne is also wearing her brand new blue tie-dyed shirt from Ross, along with a blue scarf tied around her neck. On another person, so many shades of blue would be overwhelming, but Adrienne manages to pull off the monochromatic style. I grab my camera and take many pictures of her and Adam, who also opted to wear a shirt with blue in it. A coincidence, I believe. I smile behind the lens as they make goofy faces at me. For a few seconds, things are back to normal. Despite buying the royalty package, we have to wait in line like everyone else. I notice people staring at Adrienne, but I see no pity in their eyes. No poor sick girl. They appear intrigued by her presence. Even I feel Adrienne's aura as it moves through the crowd, soothing people like an unseen but welcome mist on this hot summer evening. The steel rod of tension in my shoulders loosens, and I breathe a sigh of relief. This evening will be perfect. Before going to our seats, we enter the torture museum, which scares Adam. John escorts him out while Adrienne and I walk around. We comment on the various apparatuses that prove just how medieval the medieval times were. After seeing many devices, including the famous Judas chair covered with spikes that pierced human flesh, Adrienne and I agree the guillotine was one of the more humane forms of torture because death was quick in most cases. My eyes linger on the exhibit as we exit. Is cancer just another form of torture? We sit in a giant stadium where King Alfonso and his daughter Princess Esperanza introduce themselves. They tell us how the knights will display their courage, strength, and chivalry in many different tournaments. Each section of the arena is dedicated to one particular knight, and our job is to cheer him to victory with our voices and banners. Our knight's colors are red and yellow, which Adrienne and I take as a good sign. USC colors. To my dismay, the feast begins with bread and soup without a spoon. When I ask for one, Adrienne groans. They didn't have utensils back then, sissy. You're supposed to use your hands. She demonstrates by picking up her bowl and sipping her soup. I play along until the main course arrives, a choice of roasted chicken or spare ribs with an herb-basted potato. We Southerners may eat chicken with our hands, but I'm not eating a potato with one. Our kind wench of a waitress brings me a fork. Adrienne rolls her eyes as she noshes on her ribs. I don't care how square she thinks I am because I'm too busy mentally noting how much food she is eating. The marinol has increased her appetite, and she hasn't complained about feeling nauseous yet. Keep it down. Please keep it down. Despite his lucky USC colors and our loud whooping, except for John, who doesn't believe in showing any kind of vocal enthusiasm, our knight loses during one of the earlier jousts. For a brief second, I am frustrated even though we are watching a carefully choreographed show. I tell myself the winner is predetermined, like the wrestling matches on television our grandfather Papa loved so much. Gotta watch my wrestling. Move, Andra. You're blocking the TV. Get out of my way now. You hear? I told Papa once the matches were fixed, but he wouldn't hear of it. As we do tonight, he continued to cheer on his favorite wrestlers, not wanting to believe his dedication had no bearing on the outcome. I feel an epiphany coming on, but I push it away. Cancer is not a game. It's a disease. Loud clapping brings me back to the present as King Alfonso thanks us for joining him this evening. I slap my hands together to a staccato rhythm only I can hear. If cancer is not a game, why are we fighting to win? After the tournament, we join the mob in the lobby to obtain autographs and pictures. We each take a photograph with King Alfonso, except for John, of course. Adam waits in line to have his program signed by the knight who won the tournament and who is by far the most popular man in the room. I give the kids $20 each to buy a souvenir. Adam chooses a sword while Adrienne purchases a purple cone-shaped princess cap with gold sequin trimming along the brim. I am surprised by her choice. Usually she doesn't go for anything purple, but she explains she doesn't plan to wear it. She just thinks it's pretty. Outside, Adam exclaims, "That was the best night of my life." This time, even John laughs along with Adrienne and me. Those innocent words mean more to John than Adam will ever know. John wants Adam to like him so much, but he has a better relationship with Adrienne than he has with his own son, due mostly to proximity and access. John not only sees Adrienne every day, but he also spends time with her. John thinks by giving Adam the best night of his life, he will score points, but he cannot change facts. Adam lives with his mother over 30 miles away, and we see him every other weekend, even less since Adrienne has been ill because his mother refuses to switch weekends. What a bitch. Tonight, though, we are a family again, the four of us, the 1J, and 3As, and it feels good. Part of my new armor to fight the enemy is making Adrienne a fruit smoothie twice a day. I spoke to Dr. Marco and Nina about herbs I read in the physician's desk reference. They agree in small doses the herbs cannot hurt Adrienne, but Dr. Marco does not believe they will help either. Nina is more optimistic. Using a blender, I mix carrot, orange, and banana juice with 1 capsule of milk thistle, 1 capsule of cat's claw, and 15 drops of astragalus, all herbs that aid liver function. In the evening, I use the same juice with 1 crushed caplet of a hepatic cleanse, a sort of multivitamin for the liver. Adrienne loves the smoothies and says she cannot taste the herbs at all. Another added bonus is the smoothies are loaded with healthy calories, and if Adrienne's body can tolerate them, she will gain some much needed weight. Thank you for watching and listening to Better Off Bald: A Life in 147 Days. Please subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for the next episode.